In shadows where truth hides, a voice emerges. The Oracle 19 podcast, awakening minds across 85 countries, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music. Every frequency, every continent, one truth. Find the Oracle 19 on YouTube. The awakening begins now.
Welcome to a brand new podcast. And this is the Oracle 19. And my name is Mr. Greatness. Now, for any business inquiries, if you want to put your business on this platform, you can email us. Yes, you can email us. evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Yes, we are close to 100 countries. 100 countries. Right now, 99 countries that listen and watch us. And we definitely appreciate that, the Oracle 19 podcast. Mr. Greatness, I definitely appreciate your guys continue supporting by listening and passing the information. And if you have a business, as I alluded to, you can email us. Definitely email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And that's the same email if you want to make a free will offering to the Oracle 19 via PayPal, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. We have different links to other affiliates, www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. We have a Patreon channel, which we have videos that is not posted on YouTube. So you can, as many ways to support us, digital artwork, and we do consulting services as well. So show your support. Definitely show your support. And we appreciate it. You can shop online to our baby shopping mall, www.evolutionoflondon.com, as well as evolutionoflondon.org. It's a whole wide range of different products: men's, kids, ladies' clothes, custom clothes, accessories, digital products such as EBooks for personal as well as business use. So you have two websites to check out, evolutionoflondon.com. And I'm thinking about consolidating everything into one, but I keep you posted on the website. We'll see. evolutionoflondon.org. O-R-G. Either or. We on Rumble, rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19 so you can support us that way, or our internet radio website, www.theoracle19radio.com. Many ways to listen to us on all different platforms. Check out Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 100% soy wax, 12-ounce jars, from scented to unscented. Now the scented candles from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. So if you want to place the order for these luxury candles, over 35 plus burning hours, Royalty 9 International @gmail.com. It's the email. You'll find them on Instagram and TikTok. I like to call it Tickety Talk. Royalty 9 International. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book a consultation, email him at healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com for any consultations. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. He have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continuing to train on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. That's our educational channel to open up your third eye, our third eye, your third eye, and my third eye. It's very informative. That's why I could stand on that. The Greatness 19 channel, as we're approaching 1,500 shows. Like, subscribe, and share to the Greatness 19 channel, as well as Mr. Evolution of London, Mr. MR period, Evolution of London, our health and wellness channel. If you need any demand letters or lobbyists or any other consulting services, Pathway Legal Consulting, www.pathwaylegalconsulting.com. I'd like for you guys to check out this local business via Instagram. Welcome, Rasta Joe Pasta for Caribbean dishes. Rasta Joe Pasta. Nice little rhyme. If you go to Instagram, you'll see all the information, prices locally. London, Ontario, all delivers, especially weekends. And I spell it Rasta, just in case you guys maybe don't know how to spell Rasta. Rasta, Joe, J-O, and then pasta, just in case you don't know the word pasta, P-A-S-T-A, for your Caribbean dishes. Rasta pasta has vegetarian chicken and shrimp, as well as ackee and saltfish. Ackee saltfish with white rice, various pricing, chicken, fried chicken, and they have chicken combos. So there's a lot of meals there, lots of meals. You go into Instagram, it's locally, London, Ontario, Rasta Joe Pasta. Now, the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for creators, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Both of those on YouTube. Rumble.com, just type in the Oracle 19, and finally our internet radio website, www.theoracle19radio.com. I'm hype a little bit. No, I'm hype a lot, really, on this topic. Someone asked me to talk about this, and I talked about topics similar to this in the past. But by popular demand, you want it, I'm giving it, I shall, you get. Once a hoe, always a hoe. Can people really change? Once a hoe, always a hoe. And again, I'm going to give you my perspective, and yes, it's triggering. I'm like a variety store of podcasts. This is just me. I get into many different topics just on the podcast alone. For your new listeners, over 700 shows. Yes, over 700 shows. Now, I know bigger podcasters, some who have done thousands and thousands of shows. So I'm not on that level. That's okay. On my level, that's a lot. And that means a lot to me, me, me. And a lot of people will say, wow, you're just steady grinding. Which, yeah. So once a hoe, always a hoe. Is this true? I'm gonna get right to it. My personal point of view, 99.9% of the time. Now you have that 0.5% to 1% that people do change. They do a dramatic change. Women, this is about women. Yes, you. I know. Yes, you're not gonna like it. It's okay. You'll be all right. You have, and this don't apply to the real women. It's real women. They know how to conduct themselves from the start, and that's, I would say, 1% of you. But the females that carry themselves like this, can they convert? Yeah, there is a chance that they can convert. I would say 0.5 to 0.1% of the females can change and do change. But for the most part, especially in this day and time, once a hoe is always a hoe. She's going to show herself. And I'll give you my perspective about life. See, can you trust a hoe? And I know that word might be triggering to y'all guys, but I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm gonna have to trigger you right now. Sorry, but this is what it is. Can a hoe be trusted? Lady of the night, and not necessarily a prostitute, because women, you have these, and when I say women, and it's interchangeable with the females, but hopefully you understand. You see, women, a lot of these women that is very loose, they can't be trusted. They're only gonna be with, I call, whoever's on the winning team. Meaning whatever man is successful or in their life, that's their loyalty. And as soon as your money goes or you don't have it, they're gone with it. This is the reality. This is the stone cold reality. And this is the game of life. This is all part of the game of life. This is something you men have to face and deal with. You can't get upset at the game of life. Yeah, you can get upset, but you have to maneuver around it. You can't let that consume you. We all been through, if you out here in these streets as a man, you met up with these harlots. You out here in the streets, it's too many of them out here to not have to deal with. They're not trustworthy. They're only trustworthy for the dollars that you have. That's their trust. In God we trust. Let you not have any money. You're not seeing no women out here. Because that's what it is. And these women, especially a lot of these type of women that I'm gonna discuss, they only gonna be with you because you got something. So there's no trust out here. You deal with a hoe for whatever it's worth. As this guy, Minister Jap, who's on YouTube, would say, for recreational purposes. Especially in this day and time. Especially in this day and time. You can see it on social media. You see it in your neighborhood. You see it in the town near you, town you reside, the city you reside, the country Hoes all over. And they reckless. They reckless with their bodies. They reckless with their minds. And then for women to say, well, it's the man, he's being he's men chasing all these skirts, but there's a lot of skirts to chase. There's a lot of hoes that's out here for them to chase. If majority of women was good and innocent, then it's no women to chase. You got a lot of, see the game, I'm gonna slow this down. Different types of women is out here. You got harlots, many different facets of harlots. And what do I mean by this? You got rich harlots, poor harlots, lesbian harlots, straight harlots, church harlots or hoes, you want to call, just being nice. You got all different types. And a lot of men get tripped up by this. You got ex-harlots, straight prostitute harlots, stripper harlots. And especially in this day and time, if she's a bisexual hoe, can you trust that? First of all, no, my humble opinion. Because she's flipping on both sides. Is there exception to the rules? Very small percentage. As I mentioned, 0.5%. But you can't trust a bisexual hoe. She has no loyalty. She don't even have loyalty towards what gender she wants. She just bouncing. It's just what it is. She don't know who she wants. She just want to have fun. She's not stable-minded. So how can she be trusted? How can she change? Once a hoe, always a hoe. And you men gotta, if you're gonna deal with that type of woman, she have no loyalty to her own vagina. So how would she have loyalty towards you? She has no discipline. So how can she really, you could take her seriously? And a lot of these, we as men, you want to deal with that and thinking you can change that and thinking you can trust that. She don't. She is who she is. And I have to say, recreational purposes only. You got so many hoes out here. It's a lot to pick from as a man. But you have to just play the game how it just needs to be played. Now, I'm not no dating coach, and I'm not trying to be. I'm giving you a perspective of what I been through and what other men around me been through, so I could put it together in one pot and I can spit it back to you. And you can see it out here. Just look at the women that is out here that is bisexuals. Can you take that and marry that? What's the chance of you really saying, okay, I can marry this hoe, this bisexual hoe? What's the chances of you just saying, okay, this is somebody I can put up on a pedestal? Slim to none. She don't even have sexual discipline. And then we as men procreate with this type of hoe. Now we destroying our legacy. Dealing with this whack bisexual hoe. Many men, hundreds of men, thousands of men trying to reinvent the game of life, thinking that you can change this type of woman. She's not loyal to you. Just what she can get out of you. You need to get a woman, men, that is stable-minded through thick and thin, stable-minded in all facets of life, and that's a small percentage of women. But there are women like that, real women like that, but that's a small percentage. She's just a fun girl. Nothing more. And you can't trust her. You got alcoholic hoes. Alcoholic hoes. They get liquored up, and then that's when they get active, meaning sexually active. And they got liquored up. That's what they do. They go get liquored up. They go different bars. They get liquored up, and they ready to go. How many of you men dealt with drunk hoes? There's plenty out there. Just go to your nearest club. You see it all day. They get liquored up, and then they want to, that's when they get loose. And they've been loose with hundreds of different men. Their bottle is their loyalty. Undisciplined. You can't trust a drunk hoe, an alcoholic hoe. This is part of the game of life. You got to, as a man, know the reality, especially in this reality. You can't convert. Don't try to change thinking I can change her. You know, the worst thing men get caught up on is a pretty hoe. A pretty hoe. I dealt with a lot of pretty hoes. Yes. You would think because they're pretty, you'll tolerate a little bit more because she's pretty. But you can't change the wheel. She's just a pretty hoe. She's hood. Look at your entertainers. There's a movie called Players Club, an old movie, 90s movie, and you have a lot of you will know who I'm talking about. But very pretty light-skinned woman. You got light-skinned, green hazel eyes, real hair, beautiful woman. But she's hood in the heart. But if you see in the streets, especially in her heyday, drop dead gorgeous. But she's a pretty hoe. Been around with men, different men, body counts escalating. I don't know all the stuff, but you could just see how she moves and how she talks. That's a hoe. See, when you a man of a certain age and you get wisdom, you get instincts, your third eye opens up more. You can tell you've been through the block hundreds of times. You know, a lot of people. That's one thing about as you get older as a man. You should anyway. You get more seasoned. You can spot things a lot quicker, especially when you use wisdom. And through wisdom, you brought experiences as well. Experiences in life make you see things a lot quicker. And you can spot things. A lot of the young people I talk to, and sometimes it's hard for them to comprehend when I talk to them of how I could just shoot game to them. And they really won't see it, and it becomes true. When I tell them, give them advice and stuff, it's hard for them to believe it because, again, they're young. But when you get older, especially as a man, you can spot things a lot quicker. And all my older men, they will understand that wholeheartedly. You don't have to be in the person's house to know. And you know what? As we all get older, men and women, this is a side note. Yeah, we're going to spot things. That comes with wisdom and experience. So, yes, even women as they get older should, and they become more wise. But that's a different story. You bring it back to the pretty woman. And you have a lot of pretty women that is drop dead gorgeous, but straight hoes. And a lot of men get a little bit flustered and mentally blocked, thinking, how can this be? Or try to deal with that individual, because she's so pretty. But she's a slut. Just straight up. She's just a slut. And you tolerate that because she's pretty. I dealt with that in life too. One particular chick in my head, she was just a hoe. Straight up. And you try to see, okay, try to come at a different angle. Let me see how I can work it. Let me just stick around. Maybe I could try to change her. No, you can't do that. People are who they are. Once a hoe, always a hoe. And see, that's going to bring me up to, now I'm going to mention names, that Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, the basketball player, and Megan Thee Stallion is a hip hop artist, I'd say a rapper. And how different functions he brought her in, in certain functions, and how she acts. Just straight hood. And then when you look at people's track record, now I'm past her for a moment, have been with different men. No matter how she looks, she is who she is. This is why they're not together anymore. Once a hoe is always a hoe. You can't, whether you try to change them, they try to put on clothes, different clothes. It's another person, Brittany Renner, that you see online. Instagram, people will say Instagram so-called model. Some people will say Instagram thought. Some people will say that. But I use her as the template somewhat. Is pretty woman. People get flustered and blinded by a pretty woman, but people are who they are. Different men that women be with, and then all of a sudden they change up. They see God, they see religion, Allah Akbar. Now they're wearing a long gown. And then when it don't work, then they revert out of that, and now they back in these streets dressing like hoes. People are who they are. You can't change people. People will reveal themselves. It's just what it is. Once a hoe, always a hoe. The style of dressing, the long dresses, can't take away what's in their nature. And these is pretty women that I mentioned, and men get blinded by the prettiness. We all been through the sense of life. I've been through the sense of life like that. Got blinded by the prettiness. But they are pretty hood rat hoe. They are pretty hood rat hoe. And you can't change a hoe, regardless of her being pretty. Pretty. She's a pretty hoe. And this is where we get it mixed up, men. We get it mixed up. And you get religious hoes too. Weird story. Oh, well, I just give you the clean version of the story. My peoples know they know what it really was. But I met a religious woman, holier than thou woman, a certified so-called Christian woman. So certified she always carried her Bible in her purse. This is how I met her. It was just for a hot minute. But let me just tell you, she had a little micro mini pocket-sized Bible that she had in the pocket. She showed me, tried to convert me. And then she had her regular King James version of the Bible in her purse. So she had a pocket one, little pocket size in her pants pocket. And then she had a King James Bible she used to carry in her purse. And then I guess if she lost those, she also showed me she had an e-book, the Bible, on her phone. A real religious woman. And she wanted to debate with me about, me converting. And I need to see the light. I think she was a Baptist on top of that. So I needed to convert to be a Baptist Christian. Because there's no other way but the Baptist way. I had to be that guy for her. Himity, him. But again, once a hoe is always a hoe. And let's continue this conversation. So always use Just debate with me about that. But I still got it at the end. And it didn't take that long. Real talk. 5 hours. I just met her on the bus. 5 hours. That's all it took. All of that holier than thou. Showing me the books, the EBooks, the pocket-sized Bible version, the regular-sized Bible version. Trying to preach to me the good word. She took the word all right. 5, 7 hours. Real talk. I'm just giving you the clean version. Can I get an amen on that? Once a hoe, always a hoe. Religious hoe. I got religious, so-called religious cousins. They family of mine, and I love them. But they hoes. Once a hoe, always a hoe. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not to put all the business out there, but I mean, it's what it is. Religious hoes. Plenty of them in the church. Come on. We can't forget the professional hoes. One of the teachers. Nowadays, these female teachers they can't help it, so they even being with the high schoolers. Pause. Female teachers supposed to be professionals, professional homes, and I just given that. Teachers, lawyers, doctors. I know all those stories. You got so-called doctors online, but then you see how they dress online, showing all different types of body parts online. They can't help it. They are who they are. They hoes. And always will be hoes. I met upper middle class hoes. Coming from great families. So-called strong backgrounds. Mother and father. Same thing. Hoes. And we get blinded again as men because they got status, they professionals, they coming from great families. And we try to give them a pass, trying to change things. But you can't change a hoe. She is what she is. Regardless of her professional background or family background, she's a swamp rat of a hoe. You got the poor hoes as well. Well, we kind of expect them because they're the sewer rats. We as men get blinded by status and beauty and situations where women cry themselves into the relationship and we be like, okay, all right, that meant the 50 men treated you bad. But I'm the number 51 and I'm going to treat you good. Because she cry on our shoulders and cry of how the 50 men did her wrong. 50 men, mind you. They all did her wrong. She played no part in it. So 50 men did her wrong. You the 51st now. I heard it all. Pretty much. And people are who they are. These women out here, you can't get blinded by their tears and their miseries and everything else. And you get captivated because, you know, I'm giving you the clean version. When she rolled in the hay with you, you just got hypnotized by the love. And now you want to give it another chance, one more chance. But she's a hoe. She's just a magical hoe. And she just put magic on you. You got the crazy hoes. And a lot of guys like to be around crazy. They like that fun and excitement, but you're also getting trauma and misery as well. And it's destroying you men from within, being around these type of women. It really is. It's not helping you. It's really destroying you. You're wasting time. Now, I know we humans, we men out here, we out here in these streets. I'm not saying you shouldn't or should. Personally, I would say if you could avoid it, but then you have to be a hermit. And, you know, I get it, man. We out here. I get it. But in theory, you pretty much need to be a hermit if you can handle that. I'll let you figure out what I really mean. Most of you should, but if you don't, then listen to the show over and over until maybe it could sink in, or just email me and I could break it down for you. But you have to know what it is. Now, I will add, do you have good women here? The 2%, 1% to 2%? Yes, you do. You got solid women out here, and this conversation don't apply to them. You got solid women out here, and you know who you are. Ladies, women, you know who you are. But you also know that a lot of you other women know that you hoes, and you know it. And you will try to justify it, saying, well, you know, the men is this. No, don't justify. Just look at you. You. And some of you women that say, I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be me. Good. Because there's a market for you. And we need type of women like you in life. Keeps us men from not going insane. As Mr. Jab will say, and I say it again, you for recreational purposes. You're a fun person. You're a fun girl. I have no problem with fun girls. Been around fun girls. Lots of fun girls. Fun, 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 fun. As a man, you can't get them pregnant. You already destroyed your legacy by getting them pregnant. B, you just can't get no attachments. And that's hard in the game because that magic could be put on you, and now you magically captivated with this harlot. You can't let the game get to you. You got to be strong in the trenches to not deal with the nonsense it comes with sleeping with these harlots. And again, when you're surrounded by majority of harlots out here as a young man up and coming, you kind of want to, kind of, as a savage out here, you're just going to deal with what you deal with. But I would say, in theory, you should not deal with them at all, in theory. Which means that you have to pretty much live like a hermit and just get your paper, stack your paper, and, get into yourself only, work out, make your money, as I mentioned, and just be on your purpose. And getting involved with these women is dangerous. It's definitely fundamentally a danger to dealing with these modern day harlots, because they could put you in a bad situation, far worse than yesteryears, because laws is different. Laws cater to these women, and disease has always been in effect, but now it's running. All weird diseases is running rampant. The way this government or these European governments structure for hoes to flourish and survive. I put it like that. This European governments, that whether it's United States, Canada, or European nations, they structure their society for hoes to be successful and to win and to have the laws that favor them. If that's not true, read your laws on family court or just with women's rights and everything else. I mean, it caters to hoes, point blank. You might not understand it, believe it, but the society caters to hoes. So if it caters to hoes, you have to watch your step as a free-thinking man. You have to know who you're sleeping with, especially if you're out here trying to be the best version of yourself, trying to elevate yourself. You have to be real careful out here in these streets. These women will, not maybe, will destroy your legacy if you get them pregnant, because once you get them pregnant, laws come in which won't favor you. Now you're spending your money. You got to spend a lot of time focusing on a funky hoe that really really just want to destroy you and is attached to you now till the child reaches 18, and that don't even guarantee it. It depends on the location. You pretty much glued to this Jezebel for pretty much life. This is how you get trapped. And your legacy is being destroyed. What do you mean, Mr. Greatness? If you dealing with a hoe, the percentages is higher of your one. If you have a son, your son will be weak-minded, being under this type of woman, because she will never admit to her son that, that she was a hoe back in the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s. She will always put the blame on other men, and she will always interject a way for her son that mothers do no wrong and they sugar and spice and everything nice. And you're supposed to forgive for the behavior of these women. And that's what she's going to interject. Your daughter, because she has that DNA in her, the chance of her being a whore is going to be a higher percentage because of a versus if she came out the womb of a quality woman. She has to really be supersede that way. This is part of the genetics part of things. Now, is that a total reality? No, but that's why I said the percentages is higher because she come from a womb of a hoe. Sometimes you are who your parents are. Not only you get the physical features of your parents, but you get that part of their DNA as well. That can creep up. That could creep up. So a man's legacy could easily be destroyed. And the chances of his legacy being destroyed is higher dealing with a hoe, procreating with a hoe. That's a factual, that's not a maybe. Listen to what I just said. The percentages is higher. And it's like you rolling the dice. If you rolling the dice or if you gambling or something, what's the chances that you go, if you want to gamble, you go to a casino, what's the chances if you have $50 and you want to play the slot machine or the blackjack, anybody that knows the casinos, what's the chances of you losing that $50 versus getting money? It's a small percentage because that's how it's built. Now, is a possibility you could be successful going to the casino with $50 and making and doubling your money? Yes. But this game is thousands of people going to casinos every day. Thousands of people. And thousands of people, out of that thousands of people going every day, most of them lose money. 950 people out of that 1,000 lose money every day. Why you think they rich? Casinos. Small percentage of people win, but that's not the norm, because if most people won going to the casino, then there'll be no business. Turn that around if you as a man dealing with a hoe. What's the percentages is which is higher that the offspring is going to be crap? It is higher because she's coming from that womb of that harlot. So you almost have to chalk it up to the game. Roll the dice and hope for the best, but should you be, I mean, what's the chances? Still your offspring, but what's the chances? The point I'm saying to you men is, you younger men, is if you caught in that situation, don't just think you absolutely that you can save the children because they're already coming from a womb like that. Now you try to help, but just don't think it's not a possibility. The possibilities is much higher. It becomes over 50% personally that your legacy is destroyed. This is part of the sands of life, men. You can't overlook that. You can't think that it's not a possibility. Don't think because it is you could rewrite the game. That's just not the case. This is the game here. This is the cold world out here. You cannot just shuck and jive from the realities of life and thinking, you can change. You can't change people. You can't change this system been going on before you and I, all the way to the days of the Bible when you had poor women. And it's going to be going on even after you and I pass on. See, many moons ago, whores, they was put in specific categories. They was, even in the yesteryears, even in the, let's say, the days of the Bible, there was prostitutes, just straight prostitutes. And prostitutes was fun, very useful. But now the game is so crazy where hoes is in every which way of life, being deceptive, from professionals to middle class to rich to poor, sexual deviance, workplace, all over. And they reckless, so reckless is these women they destroy people's lives. Majority of hoes destroy families, destroy people's lives, destroy their own life. They destroy, they don't create. Most hoes destroy lives. I say it again, they destroy lives. Is Mr. Greatness off with this? Am I off? If I'm off, you can email me. But think about it. Think about the holes in your circumference. Your baby mama, your wife, your ex-wife, your sister, your female cousins, your mammy, your great-grandmammy. Hoes. They're a plague. They're nice for society of men for pastime, for recreational purposes, but how many hoes is creating a better society overall without not destroying society? Now I'm saying something real deep, but think about it. Now, again, is it all hoes destroying society? No, it's always exception to the rules. But think about it. They got problems, mental problems, far worse than the ones that have stabilities, far worse than the women that have stability. The women that have stability is the ones that's keeping a balance, somewhat of a balance of life. But the hoes out here, they for recreational purposes, but they reckless. They destroy families. They destroy your life. They give you diseases. Nice little packages. They don't care. Mentally, they messed up. Physically, they most likely messed up. Think about it. And they have nothing but problems. This is going to sound messed up, but okay, look at the single mothers out here with multiple baby daddies. Multiple. Okay, you can have one and make a little oops. You get two baby daddies, you'd be like, yo, what's going on here? Three baby daddies, you say, oh, hell. But how many single mothers out here? This is a question that's going to be triggering. But how many? This is for you, whether you're a woman or a man, woman, or whatever. Think about how many women, single mothers out here that is not hoes. hoes. I'm letting you think on this one. In your perimeters, in your circumference, your family, your friends, women and men, you could chime in on this. How many single mothers that you know that is not hoes? They just good women that just made 2 or 3 and 4 mistakes. They made 2 or 3 and 4 mistakes. They not hoes, right? They just made 2 or 3 crucial mistakes. I'm just saying, this is just a question. Don't get in your feelings. I know your feelings because this might apply to you, but this is what it is. And then how many hoes out here that don't want to stand on what they do? They just want to put blame on other people. You got 2 and 3 or 4 baby daddies and you've been around with 20, 30, 40, 50 men, but you're not a hoe? You're not a hoe. You just made 40 mistakes, 50 mistakes. And 3 and 4 and 5 baby daddies. It's just a mistake. You're not a hoe, an ex-hoe, a present hoe. And then you wonder why your daughter is reckless. Because you was reckless. Spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing. This is part of the sands of life. And I know it's going to be triggering, and I know a lot of women, especially, and a lot of simpish men, it's not going to like what I say because it's going to hurt their hearts. See, you as a woman need to have accountability of yourself and who you are. You as a whole, you can change. Do you want to change? Most women don't want to change because they just want to be old. And one of the worst is being an old hoe. You got a lot of old hoes out here. I see it in Hollywood. Old hoes that have been passed around for many men, and then they meet one guy, and then he try to save her. She's not even in her prime anymore. She's primed out. And now you want to put her on a pedestal and she's 58, 60. Old hoe. And then she have nerve, the old hoe, to still think she still got it. She still can catch. She still thinks she could be a young hoe. Weird stuff. This is one of the ways of destroying society, destroying the society mentally. Because back in the days, you would have been stoned to death, literally, alive. But this is what I mean by piggybacking with government, European government. They put holes on the pedestal. They protect holes. You give them opportunities to speak and have a platform. And then a platform saying what men should do, and you're an old hoe. You're a 60-something-year-old old hoe, and you have nerve to say what your demands are. Why? Why? It's a trifling old hoe. If you wish you see my facial expressions, it's a trifling old hoe. Still trying to think she can catch, and she's 75 years old. The heck is going on here in these streets? And you got plenty of them throughout Hollywood and social media. These old hoes just twerking. They old caboose. You can see it in your family. And young girls, you see it in your family. The old hoes still trying to think they can catch. Talk about, I'm going on a date. You 60 years old. And then you say on the date, this man better provide for me, and he better do something. He better do this, that, and the third. And you've been a slut for the past 40, 50 years. You've been a slut since you was 13. Been a slut for a half a century. You got nerve to say what your demands are. You old hoe. Pooey. That's why I think of you. That's the worst, one of the worst type of hoes. You don't even get it. You don't even get in your brain. As you went through it 1970s, 1980s, the turn of the century, the 90s, the 2000s, you've been a hoe in your 40s and 50s. Now you 2026 and you pushing 70 years old. You still talking about you can catch. Wearing army fatigue outfits, micro mini skirts, showing your varicose veins. Ew. You old hussy, you. Just destroying, and this is not destroying the psyches of society. What are you doing? What are you doing? Men, you need, especially you young men, you don't need an old mammy. Stay away from these old hoes. What? Because experience, energy. Y'all swapping energy, and you getting that energy of an old hoe, especially she trying to tell you what she demand, what you got to give her, and all of this other stuff. I know we as men, we're going to do what we do. I did what I did. I know what it is. I'm just telling you, it's a waste of time, especially coming from a man of a certain age. I'm just spitting. You're going to do what you do. That's on you. But then you're going to be in my position, spitting what you have gone through that you wasted time. Trust me, it will happen. You might not want to listen because you in your prime, you're just going to want to do what you do. But trust me, you're going to think what I think when you've been through, several, and you went through the sands of life, and you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You don't want to, trust me, you don't need to come to that point where you're going to just say, what am I doing? And you're shaking your head saying, what I just did. What did I do? Gotta be crazy. You don't want to be that guy. Trust me. So I'm trying to give you the game of life to stay away. And again, it's tough because you're going to have to live like a hermit. But if you're on your purpose and you're really down for your purpose, and you're out here striving, your mind will be so occupied on the wonderful things you're trying to accomplish, getting your paper, getting your mind right and stuff. It's days going to pass, and then when you're at a certain point and position in life, you go for if you want to do that, recreational purposes only, and then believe me, you got to be real heck of a disciplined person, because when you're dealing with so many energies and you don't know, it's like playing dice. You are going to the slot machine. I'm going to use the gambling casino world. Yes, you can do it. You could be out here in these streets, but the chances are that you're going to go through a lot of junk. Dealing with these individuals is going to be a higher level because you're out here in these streets and you're dealing with these type of women, especially if you're a man in your prime and you got things going on. These old and new hoes they will present a very good representation of them. This is what you have to guard yourself for. They will do all the wonderful things for a year, even 2 years, and cook and clean and tell you, you my king, and every time I see you, I see the stars of life, and you are the one, you are himity him, you my king, and how much I love you and I worship you. All of that could be cap, and most likely it is cap, because she's positioned herself because she knows you are the one, and you could take her out of a bad situation and put her in a great situation. So she's going to present you a lot of stuff. I've been through that too. Been through that too. Women say, you are the him, you are himity him, and even will get on their knees and worship, literally. And you be like, this is a different type of ish here. You be like, sound like Scooby-Doo. Like, she literally get on her knees for me. And praise me. Like, this is a different type of woman here. I must marry her. I must have her. Not knowing her, not even venting her past, not doing a thorough investigation. You just get blinded by all the smoke screens, things that she tells you, all the wonderful stories, all the knowledge she accomplished in life, all the common sense knowledge, everything else, the love and everything. You get smoke screened and blinded by all of that, but not check her, as I say, Carfax, but her history facts, not venting her properly. And then now you in her matrix, and then she changes up on you. And you be like, oh, damn. Now you're in the matrix. She got you. Multiple kids later, then you go through things and you go through divorces and everything else. This can happen. This happens to thousands of men. You dealt with a hoe, and a good, deceptive hoe on top of that. Told you all the wonderful things that you wanted to hear. And you got blinded by the fake knowledge. You got blinded by the fake information. You got blinded by the fake presentation. Now you're paying for it. A lot of you men is destroyed, financially destroyed, mentally destroyed. Now you old and you can't find nobody now because you old now. You got to pick up the pieces. You destroyed. Your legacy is destroyed. Children don't want you. Society don't want you now because you're old. And hundreds of men I talk to, hundreds of men that is in that situation. Deceptive hoes. Told them all what they wanted to hear. And their legacy and everything about them is destroyed. A lot of you men can vouch for this. Your legacy is destroyed of who you picked, and you couldn't recover. I remember a man briefly, I was staying at my uncle's house, rest in peace to my uncle. And at the time, my uncle told me this. The man was from a divorce, dealing with a woman. I don't know all the ins and outs, but the point is he was like in his 50s and living in the basement at my uncle's place. He rented out the basement. And he was picking up the pieces. The point is he was picking up the pieces from a divorce for whatever it is in his 50s. And a lot of times the moral of that story is because he picked the wrong person, and for whatever reason, now his finances has changed, and now he's older, and picking up the pieces from that point is harder, virtually impossible, because once you start hitting your 50s, your late 40s and 50s, if you don't have certain things in place and you're going through dealing with these type of women and they already destroying your brand and destroying and you got to start all over, It's virtually impossible. You literally live in uh, just week to week. And a lot of older men, because they was destroyed, they got moved back. I hear they got moved back with their parents' house. And they in their 40s and 50s. Family houses. This is where I'm saying most of these type of women destroy society. They don't help society. They destroy society, especially a society of men, by aggravating them, taking their sources, giving them diseases, destroying their brands. How many of these type of harlots that you know that's out here that have done it or doing it now? So my question for me to you, do hoes are going to be what they be? Once a hoe, always a hoe. And they're going to destroy. Dealing with them, you have to be so careful because they're going to destroy. The chance of them destroying what you got is a high percentage. It's more like 90%. 90 to 95% of them going to destroy your brand. They're only going to take for you. They're only going to get money from you. They're only going to give you problems. They're always going to destroy your real family. They're going to destroy your brand, your businesses by putting negative things out there, especially if you just leave them. How many stories it is? If Mr. Greatness is off with this, email me. It's out here. You can see it in your neighborhood that you live. Go on your social media, you can see it. This is not something is a maybe, could be. This is a factual situation. Go look in your surroundings. Check out your family, the women in the family. Most of these women, these type of women, destroy men, not help men. Well, you think it giving them a little, love makes it right? It would if it was only like that, if it was straight like that, but it's not straight like that. Diseases, mental anguish, anxiety, problems coming to the men's. There's so many different variables, but you know it. Men know it. Real men know it. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's not a maybe, could be. It's just what it is. So you have to guard yourself. The moral of the story, once a hoe is always a hoe. And if that's what you want, men, just know that there's going to be an end game to that. And when it is an end game, what price do you have to pay? Your price might be so far deep that you can't recover. Your price might be so troubling, so stressful, you can't shake off this hoe. Because you got a baby by her. Now you got to pay all of this crazy money, things that you shouldn't have had to pay, depending on your status. If you are a rich person, you making $1 million, let's say a year, she might demand in court, she getting half of that to feed a little critter of yours that could be good with a couple $100 a week, can feed that child and make sure that child is all right. I'm talking about on the baby stage, but she gets $50,000 a month off of you. That might not mean anything to you, but that's unnecessary anguish because you dealt with that type of woman. So you have to know the game out here. And especially now. Because I'm going to swing back. There was one point, these hoes, when they was reckless, off with their head. But you got these European laws, they're untouchable. You even look at them the wrong way, They could make up stories and then you turned around and going to jail. Now you got to waste time, waste lawyer fees, just everything because you dealt with this jerk. Is it worth it? That's my question for me to you, men. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Especially in this day and time. You got cameras all over. Everybody got a camera phone. Your information can be put out in milliseconds. Matter of fact, with the world of AI, it could change you up to be a whole different person. And it could be believable. Because she has a vendetta because you don't want her no more. I'm just giving you examples dealing with these type of women. Is it worth it? The dangers are so great. Most of these hoes out here got mental illness anyway. They got so much problems on top of problems. Pretty, ugly, whatever. And you men, stop giving these below average hoes props. You disgusting me. You giving these below average females that so much that below average hoes, all of these props like they special. You get these fat, obese women that is hoes, and you put them on a pedestal and they thinking they special. They thinking they bunch of Beyoncés. You a big someone's auntie. That's what you are. Not Beyonce. You're someone's big aunties. You're giving too much props, man. Yeah, the fat hoes, skinny hoes, the crackhead hoes. You scooping up crackheads and put them on a pedestal because they pretty. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's our fault, men, is because you picking. See, you pick and you pick these hoes and all these weird hoes. You got hoes out here with one leg. What are we doing? One-legged hoes. What are we doing? What are we doing? One-arm hoes. I seen these things in real time. What are we doing? Because these small little crusty towns, you get these one-legged, one-arm hoes, and they put a little, put themselves together, put their little outfits on, and they bouncing around, and you sleeping with them, and they running around, you passing around the town, and they thinking they special. And then some of you procreate with these one-legged, one-eyed hoes, one-arm hoes. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, men? What? What are we doing? Stop it. Get some help, men. Stop it. Get some help. You can't do this to yourself. This is what I mean by these women is destroying society. They're not helping you. They're not helping society. They're destroying it. So you got to do better, men. Do better by starting with yourself, your inner self. Upgrading your inner self. And like I said, I'm no saint out here in these streets. I've been out here in these streets, did a lot of horrible, degenerate stuff, giving props to these harlots out here. And luckily, it didn't cost me my life. I'm still standing by the grace of the Most High. So he sees me something special in me that keep me out here and me dodging bullets. So, I take heed and all praise to the Most High. keeping me still grounded, elevating my mind, my spirit, keeping me healthy. Because once a whole, it's always a whole. Church.
In a world full of noise and endless distractions, where the city never sleeps and voices compete to be heard, one podcast dares to cut through the chaos. Welcome to the Oracle 19 podcast, where truth meets thought and bold ideas spark conversations that shape our urban world.